Take a step on the road to fun. Take a step on the road into nature. Take a step on the road into the past. Take a step on the road to sharing powerful stories. Take a step on the road to experiencing big ideas. Take a step with Humanities on the Road as speakers from the Pennsylvania Humanities Council take you on a journey through history, literature, the arts, and the world around you. Learn more about Humanities on the Road and discover why the humanities are important to you at humanitiesontheroad.org. Welcome to Humanities on the Road, where we join you from the Mishler Theater in Altoona, asking what Dvorak's New World Symphony can teach us about our musical heritage here in America. Hello, everyone. I'm Tracy Matisak. Humanities on the Road is a wonderful opportunity for audiences all over Pennsylvania to explore history and the arts and the ideas that shape our world. So we're joining you from the historic Mishler Theater in downtown Altoona, and this grand Beaux-Arts Playhouse has been the performing arts center for this area since 1906, and the Blair County Arts Foundation continues to restore this architectural gem to make sure that the magic that's been produced here continues to touch generations to come. We have as our special guests Carl Middleman and the Altoona Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Teresa Chung. Carl has really devoted himself to helping audiences appreciate great music like Dvorak's, but in a whole new way. So we will look forward to his presentation. He's going to be really showing us some things that perhaps we haven't seen before and allowing us to hear some things that we have not heard before. So we've got a wonderful program. And by the way, we want you to look out for some members of our audience, because they're going to be helping us to experience this work in a way that perhaps we have never experienced it before. In fact, there will be guest conductors, there will be some singing, there will be all kinds of interesting things going on. And of course, the Altoona Symphony Orchestra is going to take us on this musical journey with a number of different performances of Dvorak's works. So we've got a wonderful program planned for you. We've got lots of surprises that we want to be alert to, but we also want to learn about Dvorak and what inspired him to even write this symphony back in 1893. That's something that Carl is going to share with us to help us understand what the inspiration was for these wonderful pieces. So having said all that, what do you say we turn the program over to Carl Middleman and the Altoona Symphony Orchestra. Please welcome them.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm delighted to be here with you this evening in Altoona with my marvelous colleague, Teresa Chung, as well as this gem of an orchestra, the Altoona Symphony. How lucky we are to have them here. I'm happy to be with you to discuss one of my personal favorite symphonies in all of the repertoire, and to discuss the sources of inspiration for the most performed and most appreciated piece of music ever composed on American soil, Antonin Dvorak's Symphony No. 9, the New World Symphony. But first, let's begin with some music that you've probably never heard before. Now, I'll take bets that virtually none of you can name that tune. Do I have any takers? Well, we're going to follow it with a piece that probably every one of you can name. Our first mystery tune was composed in 1876. It was one of the first symphonies ever written in America by John Knowles Paine, a professor at Harvard University. And of course, the second piece was by, well, you know who it was. Let's all together. It was by Beethoven. Wonderful. You've restored my confidence in you. Yes, terrific. Did you hear the striking similarities in those two pieces? The repetition of that rhythmic idea. Pa 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 pa, pa 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 pa. But actually a world of difference separates those two works. Because although John Knowles Paine's music was technically accomplished, his symphony, or any of many that are just like it, could have been composed by dozens of other composers in America or in Germany. But when compared with Beethoven, Paine and his American colleagues, well, they had a position of sort of what you or I would have if we were running a three-legged race with the Roadrunner. Nobody can match Beethoven on his own territory. And Beethoven cast a very heavy thumbprint. If he were a butcher, we could say he's got his thumb on the scales because all of the American composers for dozens and dozens of years followed his lead as though they were little Beethovens composing after his style. In the last half of the 19th century, American concert music had an identity problem. It had no distinct voice. In 1892, this German cultural domination was about to be challenged. It was going to be challenged by the Bohemian master Antonin Dvorak. Dvorak to the rescue. Now, think of the most lithe and lyrical, the most wistful and sweeping, the most peppery and poetic music ever written. Soon you'll come to Dvorak. His masterpieces include the Ninth Symphony, the Eighth Symphony, the Seventh Symphony, the Cello Concerto, the American String Quartet. Many of these were written while he was here in America for a 2.5-year period. He was born in 1841 in a small village that was 18 miles north of Prague. His father was a butcher who played folk music in the village inns on a zither. Now, sometimes apprenticing his father, Antonin would wield the meat cleaver himself. But other times he followed his father's musical lead and he picked up the violin bow. And he would play in the village bands. And he would play organ in the village church. Well, at age 16, Dvorak's talents had been sufficiently recognized that he left home in a hay cart bound for Prague to advance his music studies at the Prague Organ School. Well, he never lost his love of folk music. In fact, we can hardly overstate Dvorak's reverence for his folk heritage. Where other composers were eager to put their folk music behind them while they were trying to assimilate into a different culture, Dvorak actually brought his folk traditions to center stage. We can look back at our country and the Jewish emigration in the beginning part of the 20th century and the total neglect of klezmer music, Jewish folk music from Eastern Europe, which many Jews were happy to put behind them, put in the attic, so because it wasn't sophisticated enough, so that they could better assimilate into society in New York. Well, Dvorak loved the Slavic folk styles that he had grown up with, music from countries of Eastern Europe. And he loved to combine those with the German symphonic style. Others tried, but Dvorak was better able to do this kind of melding than anyone else. In 1878, at the age of 36, he got his big break. He composed the Slavonic dances. And these Slavonic dances marked a huge turning point in Dvorak's career. He became an overnight star. His music sold like hotcakes. It came out in all different kinds of editions, originally starting for piano, then for piano four hands, and then violin and piano, and then for symphony orchestra. His picture was put up in all of the store windows in Prague. And being a modest man, he was actually a little bit flabbergasted by that, but delighted at the same time. His publishers clamored for more of these Slavonic dances. And as Joseph Horowitz puts it, the Slavonic dances colorfully evoke peasant life. The swirling skirts, the flirtatious smiles, the wheezing bagpipes, and the rustic violins. Now, one of many distinguishing characteristics of these Slavonic dances is their rhythmic verve. Now, all music can be broken down into groups of 2 or groups of 3. And sometimes we might count the music like so. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Could you do that? Go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now that was the philosophical version. Let's try it again, a little more extroverted. Ready, go. Oh, bravo, you're good. Now can you do groups of 3s like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, wonderful. Now much of the music that we hear in everyday circumstances combines groups of 2 and 3 for ingenious effects. For example, I like to be in America. Okay, by me in America. Everything free in America for a small fee in America. Okay? Of course, that's Leonard Bernstein and West Side Story. So Dvorak didn't corner the market on that kind of mixing of the rhythms, but he certainly employed them a lot in his Slavonic dances. So I want to do something a little insane here. I want to ask for a couple volunteers from the audience to lead us in combining these rhythms and with the Altoona Symphony. Whoa, what could be better? So raise your hand if you'd like to come up and conduct us in the rhythms. Who'd like to make a complete fool of themselves? Really, it's so easy and so much fun. How about my young friend right over here? Would you like to come up here? Come on, give a chance. Sure. Let's give her a hand. Great. Let's step right up this way. And I'm going to even give you this baton so you can keep them in order. And why don't you stand right there, dear? Okay? And let's see. Yeah, I need one more volunteer. Oh, that gentleman, his hand almost shot right up. Good.